Hey, Brooke, this is Joe with Profit Rhino. Just giving a quick call here. The appointment I had ahead of time canceled, so we're definitely on for the 6:30. If you're expecting 7, we can still do that as well. I am here and ready when you are. So just give me a call back or jump right in that meeting at 607-224-2925. Again, Joe with Profit Rhino, just following up on our meeting. Thank you.
Hello?
Yes, Brooke.
Yeah, I managed to figure this out.
Good, good. All right. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, can you hear me through the
Yeah.
computer there?
Yeah, perfect, perfect. We're all set. Great. Awesome. So perfect, perfect. I assume you can see my screen as well here?
Yes, I can.
Awesome, awesome. Just a little roadmap what we like to hit as we run through this stuff here this morning. Um, Pain points before we jump in. I'm going to really have you take the floor, tell me a little bit about the business, what you guys are doing as far as the current process, what you guys are looking to do. Just make sure we can focus on what's important to you today so we don't take a ton of your time with stuff that's not super important for you. Introduction, just kind of say hello. We've actually already done this stuff. And then demonstration, I will bring the iPad right up on the screen. We'll look at everything right as your customer, as your tech is going to see it in the field. And then maybe more importantly to you, we'll jump in the web portal and we'll really look and see how you're going to manage all this stuff. How you can change the pictures, update the pricing, do all that fun stuff in the back. We'll do questions the entire time, and then I will get you back to your day here. So, if you don't mind, just take the floor for a moment here and tell me just again a little bit about the business, what you guys are doing, and where you're looking to go.
Yeah, so we are doing flat rate pricing right now. I've created the price book. We do mainly residential service stuff, very little work for contractors. When we do work for contractors, we do time material. But basically, like I watched a little video on YouTube that you guys put out there, and it's pretty much exactly what I want my guys doing. So
Okay.
offering that free inspection, offering that club membership, and giving all the prices up front, and at least three options for the customer to choose from.
Cool.
So it's kind of a good match for me. I really want to join Service Titan. However, I'm not quite there yet. It's pretty expensive.
Yes.
And then I heard about you guys through Service Nation Alliance, and they basically recommended if I wanted to do flat rate pricing, you were the guys to do it through. So
awesome. And now, are you a member with Service Nation Alliance?
No, I sort of contacted them, and now they're trying to get me to hop on board.
Sure.
Again, it's just myself and one other plumber, and then we have an apprentice and one office staff. So I don't know if I'm really ready for that investment, but yeah.
Awesome.
So yeah.
No, perfect. So that really gives me what I need to know. So let's jump right into it here, Brooke. As we're going through, if you have any questions, bud, please just stop and ask me as we're going through. Interruptions don't hurt my feelings. It's the best time to answer these questions when you're looking at them, when it's fresh in your mind. So please feel free to just jump in with any questions. If not, we'll jump right in the app here. This is just a regular old iPad. This is actually a refurbished iPad 3 we bought off eBay for 99 bucks. So nothing expensive or special is needed here. Any Apple or Android tablet will work.
Yeah.
Home screen here, not a ton for us. Obviously, we'll get your Clear Choice logo in here. The color scheme can also be changed to match, whatever branding, marketing you guys have here. Your other real big things are your price book, your work order builder, your option builder, and then this is your customer database. You'll notice the pictures coincide up here, so this will stay with us everywhere we go, so we can jump to this stuff quickly as needed. And then lastly, red dot, that's just where I'm touching, just to kind of help you follow along a little bit.
Yeah, I don't think I can see any of this.
Oh, I'm sorry. How about I start? No, there we go. Sorry about that.
It says I can see your screen, but I don't think I can.
I had the air server was giving me trouble, so I paused it while I was fixing it, so you didn't have to watch me, and I forgot to start it again. So let's quick jump back again. Price book, work order builder, option builder, customers. Pictures stay with us the whole time, so we can jump back to that stuff when we need it. Again, your logo, color scheme can all be changed for you guys. Little red dot is again just where I'm touching, just to help you follow along a little bit. This is the home screen of the price book. You said you watch a demo on YouTube, so images are a big thing. You will find over 3,300 custom images in here already, in about 10,000 different spots, all of which can be changed, updated, unlimited new images added by you guys, whenever you want and as frequent as you guys want to do this. The other big thing here is we can clean this view up. If you purchase with us, you are going to get all the trade books. So if 2-3 years down the road, you open an HVAC division, you have the books here. In the meantime, we go in and just toggle all this off. So we'll probably leave plumbing, drain cleaning, probably hot water, and the miscellaneous, I'm assuming, for you guys here. Just the cleaner, the easier we can make it for the guys in the field. The faster they work through it, the less chance they make a mistake, and that leads to a better experience to the customer. If we jump inside of any of these books, they're all really set up relatively the same. If we go in, we're going to ask a few quick questions to get to the job we need to get to. In the plumbing, pretty obvious question is what part of the house are we going into? So we have the kitchen, the bath, the laundry. We will see all your line work. I have a pool book. I don't know how many pools you guys are doing in BC. We also have water quality. Commercial is really going to be your bare minimum stuff, water fountains, urinals, handicap rails, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Bath, probably one of the most common places you guys are going. And then what are we doing in the bathroom? You're going to do some kind of sink or basin, a toilet or a fixture, or you're going to do a connection. So we have the new and rebuilds for each. Again, start at the top of the funnel, get to the bottom as quickly, efficiently as possible. This is where the images take over. You can see if you need several different kinds of fixtures, derivators, shower heads, really easy for it to come out. Your customers are going to love being able to see the pictures, especially with fixtures and stuff like this, that really the only thing they're going to care about is what it looks like. So being able to see that is really great. And then one other thing to really notice here is the 2 levels of pricing. You brought this up when you were kind of telling me about what's going on, is you want to sell more memberships, more service agreements.
Yeah.
What we're trying to do here is get the customer to start this conversation. From being out there, if the customer asks you about something, your chances of selling that just went way up as opposed to you giving them a hard sales pitch standing there. So if we can get them to ask us about this and start that conversation, our chances of selling these are going to go up. We've really had a lot of success with some other places, just getting Mrs. Jones to ask us how she can save $65, explain to her, what the program is, and really make those sales work for you guys.
Yeah.
We jump inside any one of these. First thing you notice, obviously, is the image. Any image we touch goes full screen. Again, with this stuff, your customers really kind of eat this stuff up. To the right, we're going to have what we call tech description. Obviously, everything needs some kind of brief description. Make sure your guys grab the right parts. If you notice, everything was branded lavatory or bidet. Very simply, so we can go in when you guys go with us and customize, change lavatory to Delta, Moen, Kohler, whatever you guys want, and brand these lines quickly for you guys here.
Yeah.
Second line, secondary description, just tell the tech a little bit more about the job. This is 1 or 2 handled. If there's something included with the job, it'll tell the tech here, so he's not trying to upsell or cross-sell it. And then at the bottom is the customer description. And Brooke, it's really just that, what the customer is going to be concerned with, the look, the finish, what it is, what it does, why it has to, why it would wear out, that kind of thing. 2 levels of pricing we've already talked about. And then probably the biggest thing here is this MPT 50. And you already said that you do flat rate, so you understand what we're doing here. We're going to take 50 minutes of time for this job. We have an hourly bill out rate in the back. And then I have a standard chart where I'm marking up all the parts. And this is how we're getting that price. We're doing this, still time and material markup in the back. We're just pushing it out here as a flat rate to the customer on the tablet.
Okay, so what's the P stand for?
P, that's a great question. P is for priority. So basically, every task has extra time built in for your sales, your service, your setup. So you're paid for your time at the house, not your wrench time. Priority is going to prioritize which task is billed the extra time. So if we do a shut off and a pop up here, we're not going to bill that extra time because we've already done it. But most of the time, you're going to do your most expensive job as your priority job because that's the one that's going to have the most time built into it, and then do everything else underneath. So this is how we can prioritize if we put more than one thing on an invoice, which one will be the task and which ones will go as add-ons.
Oh, okay. So there is a way, like what I was hoping is doing, like you guys have those 2 tiers of pricing. Could I do like a regular an add-on, or is an add-on already kind of somewhere else?
Yeah, it's already built right in, and let's take a look at it. It's a perfect lead into to right where I was going. So doing good, Brooke, doing good.
Awesome.
Next one here is view recommended. If we hit this, also if we add this to a work order, exact same thing's going to happen. But this is where we're going to see our recommended services. I always say the Amazon selling method. People who bought this also bought this, this, and this. You'll notice though these task numbers now start with an A. This toggle will change these from regular tasks to add-ons. So you can see the task numbers and the prices. Now I can make it an add-on and take that extra time off. Also works as an incredibly powerful selling tool. Mrs. Jones, I recommend we do a pull and clean, or excuse me, a shut off today. If I have to come back and do it in a month, it's going to be $359. If I do it today, it's only $234. For the customer to see that money fall off like that really works great. So this is where we can put those add-ons on there, and then again, the priority button can prioritize this stuff and put it on correctly. And then the second kind of sales tool is pretty hard to hide here at the bottom as well, and this is common alternatives. And anytime the customer has a choice or an option of something else they can buy, especially if it's more expensive, more profitable, we want the customer to know about those choices or those options. So here, all your guy has to do is scroll down literally a 16th of a page, tilt the tablet to the customer and say, we also have these, great options, Mrs. Jones. All you have to do is touch them. You'll jump into that task. You can still do the full screen. And then you notice at the bottom, we're not going to normally give them options to buy cheaper stuff. We're going to try and move them up into nicer stuff. So you can just hit the back and jump back if you need to. And of course, you guys have full control what comes up here, what comes up here as well. With all these tasks, again, you're going to find all the common sense stuff like this pre-done for you guys.
All right.
Cool. So let's walk it through a tech scenario and look at how we're going to do it in the field and how we're going to do it with options, because I know you like the options and you really want to get to that. So let's jump in and do that. First thing we're going to do here is go to this clipboard. This will always take us to a work order screen or a quote screen. First thing you always need to do is assign a customer. We can go ahead and just search these from anything you have logged in your customer database. You can also create new customers up here as well if necessary. So we're just going to go in and create the work order. Next thing, I assume you folks are doing some sort of dispatch fee, diagnosis fee, trip charge, whatever you call it when you go out to do the job.
We're doing no fees. So free estimates. So if we go on site and let's say there's like a leak behind drywall or something, then we're going to charge $175 to diagnose or try and find it or locate it. Same with if we have to order like a part or something, there's just that $175 fee, and then that gets credited towards the bigger job basically. So
okay, so if you guys come out and just customer's got a leaky faucet, it's water's leaking out of the right handle, you guys don't charge anything to just come out and give an estimate for that?
We don't come out to do no charge for estimates at this point.
Okay, perfect.
It's kind of like a niche thing that pretty much only we're offering, so I'm gonna want to get out of it one day. But,
so what I'm going to show here, I'm going to show you how we can do the dispatch fee, the diagnosis fee, which again, you know it. Most people are doing it here. Also, remember we can turn this off, so you don't have to do it, or we can start not doing it and migrate our way into it. So first thing you do, this hotkey is really going to have all your stuff you want to jump to. This is a diagnosis, your dispatch fees, any warranties, your service or member agreements here. Labor Adder is really cool. This is going to be if you have to dig a trench, if you have to haul away scrap metal, rent equipment. We have line items for all that stuff. You guys search and then add a note. You can add an internal note that only you in the office will see. The dog bites, the house smells, whatever it may be here.
Yeah.
So diagnosis fee. Again, you can do as many or as few levels as you guys want. Put this on here, and then we can collect a signature. Normally, we're collecting the signature here, A, to make sure you guys are going to get paid on this, and B, sometimes it's nice to just kind of warm them up to the tablet experience. A lot of customers aren't really used to that, so we just kind of warm them up to the tablet and let them know, we're going to let them be involved in this process. If you want, obviously, you can take that right off. We can turn this diagnosis box off so you'll only see 2. So keep that in mind.
Okay.
As we go forward here, you're going to go diagnose the problem. Say it's a sink. We just looked at the fixtures there. So we can go then and do the book like we just did, or we can do options, which is what you're going to want them to do here. And we're always going to find that under the 1, 2, 3. Now we can actually go through and build a extremely specific option board right for this job. If this is kind of a cluster and something that's not your normal, we can build this specific option. If this is just your normal, like I said, right handle is leaking, we can come in here and we have all of them pre-built. So all your guy has to do is go to bath faucet new, open it. The options are pre-done. All he has to do is hit that button, open this board, and then most companies are going to want to do a summary of findings, which you'll do here at the little piece of paper with the corner bent over. You can obviously type this. Also, voice to text will work as well. So you can dictate this and just kind of speed it up. Again, make a nicer experience for the customer. Always read it first before you're, if you're going to do voice to text. And then next, Brooke, we're going to go to this eyeball here, and this is really where it gets cool. This now changes this into a branded PDF quote for the customer. First page is what we call the summary page. It's just going to be a real quick summary of what we're doing. We're going to hit them with the member discount, the bundle savings, all this stuff to get them, we like to say, climb the ladder, up into these options here. Second page is actually going to have the image and complete description of everything included with all their options. Again, we're going to hit them with all the stuff to get them to try and get them up into these better and best options. This can be printed or emailed directly from the tablet to the customer. Also, this is, of course, a cloud-based system, so this is saved right to the cloud. So your other plumber can be out there on the road presenting this option to a customer in their house. You can be sitting at your desk looking at this option at the same time, which is, again, really cool stuff. So go ahead.
I don't know, you might be getting to this later, but how do I integrate this with Jobber? Or is that possible, really?
Well, you have two options if you want to use your Jobber. We can take the price book information and put it in Jobber. The thing with Jobber is they're not going to take the pictures, the images, the upsells, the cross sells.
Yeah.
That's not really a viable option. Let's be honest. It is an option, but not really. What most people are doing or who are using Jobber is, at some point you're going to have a two touches in there if you want to continue to use Jobber. Basically, out in the field here, at this point, once they get the invoice done, we know the total is going to be $800. At that point, you can jump in Jobber. You can bill the $800, bill it out through Jobber. Or you can continue to bill through here and then move that information back into Jobber in the office. People do it both ways. It really just depends what works best for your workflow. The other thing is I'm assuming you use QuickBooks?
Yeah.
We can also bring the information into QuickBooks. So in that same point, you don't even really have to build back through Jobber if you don't want to, because it will all end up in QuickBooks, all end up in the same place for you guys. Some people just prefer to run it through there. To be honest, once we have our dispatch live, there's probably not really even any reason for you guys to to continue with the Jobber.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see that for sure. So what can I bring up numbers off each plumber through you guys to see how much they're selling, what they're selling?
Absolutely.
So, okay.
And we'll hit that when we get to the web portal.
Sure.
We'll hit that, and I'm just putting it on my list of questions you asked here to make sure I hit it. So
okay,
we'll
awesome.
definitely hit that. Perfect. So as we roll through here, just kind of pump along here, they're going to make a choice here. They're going to take the better option or higher about 50% of the time. So we can add this to the work order. Just jump back, and this is now we can talk about service agreements. If they already have one, it's a simple touch to move it. If they don't have one, it should be a pretty easy sell for us here. I have mine set at $149 here. I think they saved like $156. So, should be a pretty easy sell for your guys. Over here, we can do the money. This is where we can do the tax rate. Normally, for folks in Canada, this is pretty kind of important. We can set the tax rate individual per job. So no matter where you are, we can just put in an individual tax rate. If the tax rate's the same for every job you do, we can just set it in the back. You guys never have to worry about it. We can make the job tax exempt, and then we can do discounts. So we can do them by dollar amounts or by percentages amounts. Senior discounts, military discounts are some common ones. And then here is finance, and this is something that we did not talk about. But do you guys ever do any of the third-party financing stuff through?
We're partners with Finance It, so.
Finance It, and I know Finance It. I'm not that familiar with it, but I'm sure they give you a URL when you sign up, so a company can go and apply for financing through Clear Choice Plumbing, through Fix-It.
Exactly. Yeah, it's all over our websites, and then they give me all the rates, so I could figure out how or what we could put in that little box for the customer. But that's awesome.
It's awesome. It's not even awesome yet. All we do is take that URL that Fix-It gave you. We put it in the web portal, then all you have to do is touch it, and this will jump right to your Fix-It landing page. Allow the customer to apply for the financing, get approved for the financing, and sign off for the job, all while you're standing right inside their home.
That'd be awesome.
really cool. And again, it's just a URL. So if you go to another payment company, we just put a new URL in. So really neat. And then when we set this up, we can get the rates from them and set it up here and get this. Of course, it's never going to be completely accurate because it depends on their credit ratings, but we can get it down to where your customers won't complain about it. 2 levels of pricing, we talked about that as well. Approval. We always get a signature before we start the work. This is what the customer wants us to do. And then once we're done here, we're going to get an acceptance signature. Hot water, cold water, no leaks, everybody's happy. And then time to really do the most important thing here, and that's payments. Cash, just apply the balance, save it. Check, same thing with the check number. Credit card, I'm going to show you this. Currently, this is not available in Canada, but we're hooked up with a sister company of ours called PaySimple. As you can see, they're integrated in the app. They'll take the payment, automatically post it to the invoice, automatically send you back in Profit Rhino. I know they are working on getting set up to work in Canada. Currently, they don't. So basically, you just go to whatever credit card you're using now, swipe the card, just come back in here, mark it paid. Simple as that. So easy for you guys now. Hopefully we'll be able to get that feature live in Canada shortly here. And then really the last thing to do is always best practice, hit this save button after you take the payment. Not necessarily that you need to save it, but this is always going to prompt you to email this invoice to the customer. So if you just get in the habit of doing this, the email's always going to come out. I'm not going to do that because I do this way too many times a day. And jump out and we're all set. And then just so you know what the customer is going to see, if we hit this button here, first page we remember, summary. Second page was the quote. Third page is now the invoice. And again, your logo, your information, service address, billing address, the tech that went, the service date, all the images, descriptions, highlight the discounts. Your logo here is just a PDF. You can put in advertisement for different kind of specials you guys are doing. I have a customer who sold this to the pizza parlor who's in the same mini mall as him, and you get $2 off a large pizza on your invoice. So sky's the limit. Do whatever you want with it here. Just a PDF. Obviously, signatures, acknowledgments, addendums all carry over. Again, printed, emailed from the tablet. Also, of course, saved right to that cloud, so you guys can access this instantly in the office as well.
Okay.
Cool. So what do you have for questions for me, bud?
I just want to see if I'm going to do this outside of Jobber, that's fine as long as it goes into QuickBooks. Like we're on the QuickBooks Online. But I want to see like how I can see his, like my plumber's numbers and my numbers and everyone's numbers.
Perfect. So let's jump into that right now. Again, if you ever need a side job, you're a great assistant here. You just keep walking me right into the next thing I'm doing. So you're doing a good job here, bro. So this is going to be your web portal. This is what you guys are going to see when you're going to log in. Obviously, your techs, your customers don't see this. I always like to first start right with work orders. Here's the 30th. Here's that work order we did today. This is where we're going to see the invoice number, the date it was created, the customer. This is always going to file by the day, the address, and then this is the tech. So I only have one tech in here, but this is where I can say all the techs. You can select what techs, then you can select the day, you can select the options, who's paid, who hasn't, and really grind down on this stuff, as much as you guys want. So, this is where you'll be able to do all that stuff and see it. And then you can also export this to Excel sheets if you want to mess with the data and do that stuff. So, this is again where you'll just do all those filters, and obviously you can just remove them here and filter them by customer, by day, by tech, who's selling what options, that kind of stuff.
So I can kind of like filter this for like this month and just one technician?
Exactly. So you'll just come in here to tech. I only have just me to pick from here. So I can just choose this tech and then choose the date range, from here, what we want to dates. And then I can choose, totals over $5,000, totals over 2,000. And again, you can grind each one of these categories down to really get to what you need to.
Okay, cool.
Next one here is options. You mentioned options were big. We can do actually up to 6 options per job. And this is set up to mean boy, I can't talk this morning, Brooke. This is set up so you don't have to run reports to see that these guys are doing this stuff. This is showing us that this tech put 3 options on this job. If he did 2 options, you'd see 2 bubbles. If he did 6 options, you'd see 6 bubbles.
Nice. Okay.
All you have to do is click on the bubble, and it's going to tell you what he sold. The green one, obviously, is what he sold. We can click on the other bubbles and see what he offered. Make sure he's not just kind of phoning it in here. If we scroll down a little bit, you can see, boy, get pretty far down here. If they didn't buy, it'll just show all red. This will show he presented the options. The customer didn't take anything. Looks like just a dispatch fee here. And then if they didn't show options, obviously it's going to be blank. But you can look quick here. It was a $108 bill. Probably some 90-year-old lady needed a bolt tightened or something like that. So you can kind of see what's going on here. But it's meant just like that. You're a small business. Last thing you want to do is spend 5 hours a night doing all these filters, running all these reports. So it's meant to just kind of easily keep an eye on that stuff. Total, pretty self-explanatory. And then we're doing the same thing with your payments here. If they've paid, we're going to put it in this huge blue box. If they didn't, we're not. So again, you can look at this and see who's paid, who hasn't. Easy. You don't have to run reports, don't have to look at that stuff here. And then this is where we can see any of those invoices. We talked about that. There's the cover sheet. That was the very brief one. The options will be the ones with the pictures, and then the work order is the invoice. Just jump in and take a quick look. Signatures, everything is going to transfer over. Again, this is the one we just did here in the field just a few minutes ago with 2 signatures. So again, this stuff comes right to the office. You can access this instantly. Also, all you have to do is hit the button here, and this is going to just email these out to your customers as well.
Awesome. Can we, what was I going to ask here? If let's say like a job is 3 days long, can I bill at the end of every day for a portion of it?
You'd have to create a new work order for each day, or what you do if you put it all in the work order, we can just take a partial payment. I'd put partial payments down here. So.
Okay, and then what about deposits?
Deposits would also show up just the same as a partial payment here.
Okay.
So what we do is we make one work order, say it was $10,000. You could take a $2,500 deposit, you'd see $2,500 here, and then you'd still see the $7,500 in the due. And then obviously you can come through here and just grind down on who owes you money, what's due, and pull those invoices up.
Okay.
Probably somebody owes you $7,500. You're going to be pretty aware of what's due. So, but absolutely there. So really cool. And then if we click on the customer's name, this is obviously where we're going to get their information: names, phones, emails. We can do unlimited additional addresses. If you do people who have apartments, we can have 40 properties on here and bill them all back to one account very simply. Internal notes, if you remember on the tablet, we saw the spot to do the notes. This is where you'll see them in the office, smelly customers biting dogs. And then invoices. This is going to give a comprehensive history of every time we've gone to the house, what they've options have been, what they've purchased, how much they've spent, if they owe us money. We can all see this stuff. Keep in mind, this is only going to start with your Profit Rhino history. So anything you've done previously is not going to come in here. We can pull in the customer information, name, address, phone. We can't pull in the old records. So sometimes that's a pain point for the first 3 to 6 months. After that, usually doesn't matter. But this is really cool too. I look at this, scroll through this customer's history. He always buys the 1 or 2. So I'm probably going to make the 1 or 2 maybe just a little bit nicer this time, So lets you kind of get aware and make adjustments to your customers like that. So quick pause. Any questions on the customers or the work orders?
Nope, that's pretty straightforward.
Awesome. That's the answer we like to hear, because that's exactly the way we tried to build it. So that's makes us happy. Back to the top here. This is business information, Brooke, and this is where we're going to get all your pricing. We saw the 50 minutes on that faucet. Sorry, I had a little brain fart there. This is where we're getting it from. We're billing this off this $210 an hour here, and then the parts markup we're doing back here. Probably very familiar with this chart. Your low-cost stuff is marked up extremely high. As the cost is coming up, the markup percentage is coming down. We can also do a profit percentage as you guys want. You can come in here, you can add lines, you can take lines away, you can open up the matrix, you can do profit percentage again as opposed to markup percentage. Sky's the limit. And a really cool thing is this industry default will always reset this chart to the way we're looking at it now. So you have the ability to kind of experiment a little bit with your parts prices if you want to, without the fear of really, screwing something up that can't be fixed. So cool stuff there. And then also here, you'll see we're actually in the heating book at $210. If I drop to the plumbing book, I'm going to charge $250. But if we go in your hot water, we're going to charge $180. Your drain cleaning, we can charge $270. All these books operate independent from each other. So basically, you have 9 books where you can do 9 bill out rates, 9 service agreement discounts, 9 parts markups, all that different stuff. So really cool for you guys there. And then just so you're aware how this pricing is going to work, this $270 will always be the value rate. Whatever you have in this box will always be the lowest rate you offer. If they don't have a service agreement, we're actually marking it up 15% above this right here. And we do support a third rate. Wasn't live on the tablet, but most people, your nights, weekends, emergency stuff, and we're marking that 25%. As far as updating your price, truly as simple as going in here, changing that to 260, calculate business info, and we just changed everything in the drain cleaning book in just a few seconds. The only other thing we need to do is if we jump to our tablet, you're going to see these 3 lines up here. Anytime we make a change, we want to come in here and do what we call a sync. And basically, we're doing this because all your price book data is cached on the tablet. So if you go somewhere where you don't have Wi-Fi, you don't have cell service, all that data is there. Your pictures, your pricing, it's all there. So every time we make a change, we just want to pull that new stuff in. So in case you're not connected, you'll have that available for you guys. So cool stuff.
For like, do you guys help me set all this part up?
Great question. Let's talk about that real quick as well. If you guys decide to go with us, we do what we call a flat rate success program. Lack of a better word, Brooke, this is kind of a hand-holding process between us and you, where we're going to take it from the generic book that we've looked at today and make it a completely customized book for you guys. You know, we will help you get in the pictures of your actual faucets, make sure we have the times right. Again, being in Canada, we're going to have to put a little bit of work on the parts prices. You guys are going to be just a little bit higher than what we have here. So the whole goal here when we push you out of the nest per se is for you to have a complete price book that you just need to kind of perpetuate or maintain going forward. We will train you or whoever you're going to have manage it in the office. We'll also train the techs via webinar like this, teach them how to use those upsells, cross-sells options. You know it already. You've already said you see the value in it, but if we can get them doing this the way we want to on the system, they will make more money. I promise it's a guarantee, but techs are always the wild card. So we want to kind of take the reins, make sure we give them a solid base to start with.
Yeah. Okay.
So keep that in mind, and this is a realistic time frame as well, about 3 to 4 weeks to get this set up and going. And right now we're booking about 3 to 5 business days out for the first meeting.
Yeah.
So cool. So let's go through here and just finish up real quick. Manage book, easy one we talked about earlier. This is where we can turn the stuff on and off. We'll turn your heating book off, your AC book, etc. And then also you can grind down. You can turn whole sections off. Again, just so you guys don't get into them, don't waste time. You can turn subcategories. You can even come in here and turn tasks off. So if you know this faucet's out of stock for 2 weeks, we can turn it right off so it doesn't get sold out there. So you control everything they see and how they see it. Just depends how deep you want to jump in and do that stuff. And then tasks. This is probably the biggest one we're going to look at. And this is where we're going to go ahead and make any changes to these tasks. We have about 4,400 pre-built for you guys. This is where we can come in and change any of the names, descriptions. Here's that 50 minutes. If I want to move that up or down, depending, we can do that here. And then here's the add-on. If I toggled this and made an add-on, it's going to go from 50 minutes to 20 minutes. That's where we're getting that discount. If that discount's too big or too small, this is where we can go ahead and adjust that discount without, again, adjusting the entire price of your plumbing book. And then down below are the parts included. The faucet, some miscellaneous, always going to be nuts, bolts, screws, washers. We didn't put any of that small one-off stuff in the book just to try and keep the clutter out of it. If you need to add a part, simply just add a part, put in the number, description, and then just add it for you guys. So really easy to do all that stuff. Next one is what I think is one of the coolest ones back here, Brooke, and this is called calculations. And what we're doing here is we're going to go ahead and see what the parts cost us, but we sold these to the customer for, what the labor cost us, what we sold this to the customer for, and depending on which one of the 3 rates, what we made in dollars or in profit percentage by going out and doing this job today. So it gives you an idea. You can mess with your bill out rates, your parts prices, see what it's going to do for you without actually having to go in the field and do a job and realize you didn't make any money. So just a nice spot check. And then at the bottom is going to be your add-on total as well. So we know when we give these discounts, we're not giving too big of discounts. We're not really hurting our profit margin that much.
And then for all of this material and stuff, like I guess I'm going to just track down the actual cost from my wholesaler, or?
Great question. With you guys, a lot of times we'll probably have to get it in Excel sheets and just load everything in. The parts are currently on a U.S. national average, and normally we can just take that whole list and move it up, move it down a little bit. It'll work perfectly here. Again, in Canada it gets a little more complicated, but everything is done with Excel. So worst case scenario, we just have to get the Excel sheets from your distributors. They all have them, and then just load them in here and attach them to the jobs. It's not too hard to do, just not as easy as, of course, as moving the whole pre-built list. But again, that's something that's part of this success program that we do for you guys to make it right. we can have all the flashy pictures and options and upsells. If we don't take time to get the parts right, it's really worth nothing, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So
Yeah.
cool. Jump in categories. This is a boring one. Simply tells us where we find it. It's in plumbing, bath, faucet, new. Marketing, this is where we're going to be able to control that marketing stuff. Here's the shut off and the pop-up that showed up when we added it to the invoice. And then here's those other faucets at the bottom that we tried to upgrade them to. So this is where you guys can control all that. Need to add a task. It's just going to pull this entire task list, search what you need, and then just hit the button. And now next time we sync, this leak search would show up for you guys. So really easy to add and update that stuff. And then images. This is the fun part. Obviously, the images are here. We can download them from any kind of library. If you guys have the images from the manufacturer, really no need to ever do that because we're connected directly with Google Images. So all you do is put in any word, part numbers, stock numbers, all work the same. You go through, find the picture that you like here, and you just grab it, crop it to size, put it in the price book that quickly, and now you got some nice rhinos in there. So really easy to update that price. Just put in Delta model A1, pull the image. Also, if you want to mess with your guys on a Friday afternoon, you can have a ton of fun with that right there for sure.
Oh, yeah.
And then accounting here. What this is going to tell us, if this job pays commission, yes or no. There's going to be no dollar amounts here. Taxable, again, yes or no. No dollar amounts here. And then account. This is where we're going to go ahead and kind of be able to label stuff. So we can put your plumbing in one spot, your hydrojetting in another, your hot water in another. So when we pull this stuff out to send it to QuickBooks or wherever we want to take it, we can kind of sort it, make it just a little bit easier to manage or handle. So that's really what we're going to do in this field here. So quick pause. I know I just put a ton on your plate in about 3 minutes there. So what questions do you have for me?
Honestly, as long as you guys help set everything up, then it's fine. I'm sure I'll learn.
Awesome. And
when we're doing it.
I promise it's a little less intimidating than it is here running through it in just a few minutes. So.
Mm-hmm.
Parts are parts. We already kind of talked about this. They're on a national average. Maybe we can go through and move this whole list up or down for you guys. If not, we can bring a new one in. I want to show you this. This is built for things that move a lot. Copper. Right now, I don't know, in Canada and the U.S. with the tariffs issue going on, steel, aluminum, all that stuff is moving crazy. But I can go copper fittings and pipe. Went up 4% last week, update it. It's going to update every single piece of copper in this book. Whether it's 10 feet of pipe, a quarter-inch fitting, whatever it is, it's going to move that price up 4% and price it according to whatever the chart on the business information page says. So really cool just to be able to stay with that stuff that moves a lot. Same thing with entire product lines. Again, if you guys do Delta faucets, we can put in Delta, move the whole product line up 2 or 3% instead of going into 40 different tasks and changing them all. So just kind of quality of life, makes stuff easier to kind of manage that stuff that jumps around a lot. And then option boards, a big one for you, I know. This is where we're going to have all these pre-built option boards. So really cool. Again, we have about 133 pre-built for you guys. You can come in here and just kind of update or massage the ones that we've built, make them a little more customized for you guys. Also really cool is you can come in here and just hit create board, and you can build these, Brooke. You can build every option board that your guys are presenting in the field, whether it be faucets or toilets or sinks or hydrojetting, whatever they're presenting. You can build these in the office if you want and then send them live to the tablet. So you have that ability to do this, again, from any internet-connected device. Next one here is tech option list. And this is going to show us what the tech has built on their own in the field. If you remember when we were in the app, we had that option to build the custom option, or we went with the pre-built one. This will show you any custom options. It's going to say that Tech, here built these options. Tech 2 built these options, etc. Make sure they're doing what they're doing, not making belt drive, blower motorcycle options. And then also, sometimes you're going to get a guy who's really good at this, or yourself. You're like, boy, I made a great option board for that customer. You can come in here, see the option board, and then share it with every other tablet on the system here if you like them. So just a way for you to kind of keep up on that stuff, not lose records of nice option boards you've put together. And then last here is option mask list. And this is, pardon the phrase, but where we can change the gimmick you guys want on your options. We can do the good, better, best, critical, recommended, like new. All we have to do is add a new mask. You can do whatever you want, up to 6 options. Gold, platinum, silver, diamond is a big one. I had a gentleman who's with the Ben Franklin plumbing organization. He made all his options different historical Ben Franklin things. I thought that was pretty cool, but again, sky's the limit. You can call these options, whatever you guys want to. So that's kind of how you manage what you're going to see there. And then the last one here is import export. Also be called reports. This is just where you're going to do any kind of reporting. This is where we're going to import your customer list. If we have to import a parts list like we talked about. Also a task list. You said you had built your own flat rate. If you have that in Excel, we can actually pull the stuff that you built, put it in here, add a picture, some marketing, and have your stuff live in here as well if you kind of like how it's done better than ours. Also, this is where you'll do your QuickBooks. QuickBooks 1 is desktop, QuickBooks 2 is online. So this is at the end of the day. We'll pre-format this for your QuickBooks. All we have to do is pull the report out, send it into QuickBooks. We'll give QuickBooks what we call the export, which is really just a list of all of our tasks and the prices. So when that information goes into QuickBooks, it knows what to do. Again, about 90+% of our customers are on QuickBooks. No one ever seems to have any issues or problems with that. So a very simple, easy way for you guys to get that over. And then other than that, just the no fun stuff, pulling reports by parts, by trades, by tasks, any kind of reporting you want to do. And again, everything here is done through Excel unless you pre-format it for a partner. ServicePal, QuickBooks, ServiceTitan, Desco, FieldEdge, all that stuff. You see the FieldEdge sync here. I was actually hoping to get around to show that. I know you wanted to go to ServiceTitan. So basically, if you guys wanted to go with ServiceTitan at a later date or whenever you guys decide it's ready, all the information goes right over. And it is a direct API connection. So when you make a change to your price book, we hit the calculate business info, it saves. Instead of going to your tablet and hitting the sync, you just hit this button. ServiceTitan will give us an API key, and all that information just blasts right into ServiceTitan. It takes just a few seconds for it to happen. So again, kind of if you guys want to start with us and move to ServiceTitan when you're ready, you just tell us what day, and all we got to do is come in here, push the button. We don't even have to do it. You can even come in here yourself with the API key and do it. So really cool for you guys. Also, I know you're really interested in ServiceTitan, so I just real quick wanted to show you that. Hopefully this will open here. Maybe we'll give it a second to load. I just want to give you a quick visual of what it's going to look like when we dump it in there.
So like, does ServiceTitan have their own price book built in?
Guys, to my knowledge, they don't. People either build their own price book or they come to a company like us and we provide the price book information.
Oh, okay.
So they do everything else. I like to say it's like buying a brand new Cadillac with no gas in the tank.
Yeah. Yeah.
So. Perfect. So we've already talked about this. Loaded pretty quick, and we'll only take a half a second doing this. Again, you just brought up ServiceTitan several times, so everything is going to look extremely familiar to you as it did in Profit Rhino. Like I said, everything's going to come just as you see it in Profit Rhino. We're just hitting the button. They just separate it a little bit different, but we'll have the same upsells at the bottom.
Yeah. Nice. Okay.
Same cross sells, everything comes up exactly the same as it would, just in a little bit different format. So just so you're aware what you see there.
Yeah.
All right, and now the I like to call it the Rhino in the room here, as far as the costing here. Prices are in US dollars. Of course, remember that. It's $55 per user. A user is only a tablet in the field. So if you have 2 guys out in the field, you're looking at $110 a month. Even if you have 40 people that work in your office, just the people who generate invoices pay. We do have a one-time charge of $12.99 for the Success Program. We do the upfront because we don't do contracts. It's month to month here from day one. If you're a member with any of these groups, you get $200 off the upfront here. To be honest, that doesn't really matter today. We're actually running a special for the end of Halloween here. Everybody has a sales goal. We're offering this at $7.99 today and tomorrow. So if you guys are interested, we can get you a bit of a discount on the upfront. But then really, to get going, all we need is obviously a card on file, get scheduled for your first meeting here, and you guys can be off and running.
Cool. The only thing that I would have to figure out before I could get this going is payments, because we do all of our payments through Jobber. And I'd rather not have everyone do things twice and plug it in Jobber after this. I'd rather just go to QuickBooks and I look at it later.
Yes. So that's where you're going to go. My suggestion would be go right to QuickBooks. I know QuickBooks has a swiper. So you would be able to, I think, just swipe it directly into QuickBooks with the invoice numbers, and it should link for you guys. So that
Oh,
might be
like
an option to
when
look
they
at.
pay, it'll go straight into QuickBooks.
Yep. I know QuickBooks is now offering a swiper, and I
Okay.
believe we can note the invoice number when we take the payment on the QuickBooks swiper, and it'll match that up when we run them in.
Okay, yeah, I'll look into that today then and see if they do payments in Canada.
And again, it's a little different being on the other side of the border there. So, but definitely let me know. That price is good till the end of the day tomorrow. Again, I'm not really the pushy type of salesman. I'll put it out there. If you need anything from me when we're done here, I'll shoot you a quick email so you have my direct contact. If you have any questions, you want to get the ball rolling, let me know. If you need to see anything again, if we want to jump on another meeting for a few minutes just to double check something, that's my job, Brooke, is to answer your questions. Don't feel like you're putting me out or, being a pain. My job is to facilitate. So let me know what I can do for you guys. If I haven't heard from you in a week, 10 days, I'll just kind of follow up and see what we're looking at.
Okay, and then what's this option on the left here, like your field service software?
Basically, this is just telling us what we do. We have two separate products. We have this product, and then we have the data integration, we call it, which is where we put all the information inside of ServiceTitan Field Edge, one of those groups. A little bit different pricing. With a standalone, again, we're doing the 55 per user. When you go to a data dump, we do a flat 189 per company, unlimited users. Simply because it seems pointless to charge you guys per user when we're just dumping a price book into somebody else's software. So just a little bit different pricing. You're going to get the platform with both, and then one is service and mobile. The other one is integration.
Okay.
So just kind of separating our products.
Cool. Is there any way I can save like our video here and give it to my office manager?
What I can do for you here, I have a private YouTube channel. It's too big to email, but I can upload it to my private YouTube channel, shoot you guys over the link, and you'll be able to go on YouTube and watch the whole meeting.
Yeah, that'd be great. So she can take a look, and then I can also my mom happens to be my accountant, so I can just take a look too and see how that'll work with QuickBooks. And
awesome. Yeah. Give me just a little bit for it to upload. I'll shoot it all over, like I said, in that follow-up email. And then if you guys have anything for me, just let me know.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Thanks a lot. That's
Appreciate
great.
the time, Brooke. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye.
All right. Bye.